This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's all about this guitar today, the latest arrival here at Robson Towers, an Epiphone, inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom. Possibly you saw me unboxing this guitar on Thursday, just doing a quick first impressions, kind of quick look at the guitar, and I said that in today's video I would be taking a little bit more of an in-depth review of it, and that is indeed what we're doing. So let's get things moving straight away by having a listen to what this guitar sounds like in a mix. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, and a jam track to play along with for yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are, you know where, downstairs in the description. A little bit more housekeeping in that piece of music there. Regular viewers of this channel will know that I was using the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury Edition on the Vintage channel, which has a very kind of old school Plexi Marshall kind of tone to it, which suits me down to the ground. For the cleaner parts, exactly the same settings, just cleaning things up using the guitar's volume controls. And for the shoutier high gain stuff, same settings again, but with the new X-Horseman drive pedal into the front end of the amp, and then a little bit of delay and reverb added in Reaper as I was mixing. So we'll talk about what I think of this guitar, you know, as we move on through the video, but let's just kind of get some information out the way first. I'll put a link to the full spec in the description, but here are some measurements that I've taken from this guitar. You can see weight of 4.25 kilos. So what's that in old money? About just a shade over £9. My quick mental calculation tells me. So it's a chunky old Hector, but it's not uncomfortable. It's a Les Paul. It's always going to have a bit of heft and weight to it, but it's not towards the ridiculous end of the spectrum. You know, you play some Les Pauls that are kind of over 5 kilos, over 10 pounds, you know, and that's when you're getting into kind of backbreaker territory, but this, kind of on the lap or on a strap, it's, I think, a perfectly comfortable weight. Nut width of 43 millimeters, and you can see the 1st and 12th fret neck profiles there. As you can see, kind of quite a shallow D neck profile there, which I find very comfortable, but then again, I'm notoriously unfussy when it comes to this kind of thing. As long as I don't have to play on some kind of 80s poodle perm hair metal Ibanez kind of wizard shred kind of neck, then I'm perfectly happy. I always find those kind of necks very tiring to play on, actually. But yeah, just give me a guitar with anything but that neck profile, and give me 5 minutes to acclimatise myself, and I'm fine with it. And I can't really imagine anybody picking this guitar up and thinking, oh, this neck feels really uncomfortable. It's a very, I think, comfortable neck shape to play on. The DC pickup resistance readings, as you can see there, bridge 8.37k, neck 7.71, and in the middle 4.01. These pickups are the Epiphone Pro Booker 2s. As I say, full link to the full spec in the description. And these Pro Booker 2s are the Epiphone's kind of take on an old school kind of PAF sort of pickup, and again, right in my kind of happy zone, really. That is where I like to be for kind of humbucker type kind of sounds. And providing you're not really going to want to swap these pickups out to kind of put in some face melting kind of super duper hot metal pickups in, then I can't see any reason why you'd want to change these out for kind of blues rock, classic rock. These are as good as you're ever going to need. Let's have a listen to them again through the Blue Guitar Amp 1 on the settings I mentioned earlier. Bridge pickup wound all the way up, sounds like this. And then, as I say, just kind of take the guitar's volume control down, and you're going to get a nice, I think, transparent but warm, clean sound like this. So, very versatile guitar just by, using the controls on the guitar. That's what they're there for, after all. So I can't, as I say, see any reason why anyone would want to swap out those pickups unless they are kind of the polar opposite of the kind of sound that you are looking for. I think it's a gorgeous looking guitar, this. I think it's, especially since Epiphone have gone to this updated headstock shape, I think it looks in keeping with a Les Paul. The old headstock shape on Epiphones, like the pre-2019 ones, those sort of corner indents on this little corner here, fine on a semi-acoustic. Like on the Epiphone Dot, it looked fine. On an Epiphone Sheraton, it looked fine. It looked in keeping with that. But on a Les Paul, I just always thought it looked out of place. And I'm so pleased that they've gone with this updated headstock shape, because I think this looks as attractive as the wider, perhaps dare I say it, even a little bit. Well, it's debatable. I think this is certainly as aesthetically pleasing on this style of guitar as the wider Gibson, full fat Gibson headstock shape. So, and just looking down at it, it's from a player's eye view, it looks almost kind of Gibson-esque, because you're not missing that chunk out of the corner of the headstock. You know, it's a little thing, admittedly, but it was something that always used to kind of grate with me, that old headstock shape on a Les Paul. But now it's gone. It's I think this is, you know, a very, very aesthetically pleasing looking guitar. Just the white and the gold hardware and everything, it's, I think, absolutely drop dead gorgeous. It sounds great. It plays beautifully. It didn't when it arrived, I will say that. I bought this as a used guitar, got it on eBay, and I think the reason why I got such a good deal on it was because the guy who sold it didn't really kind of take very good photos of it, and you know, you could see in the photos that it was absolutely, well, as we say in this part of the world, minging. It was filthy. Just as evidence for how kind of awful it was, I got a fresh microfiber cloth, completely virgin cloth, to clean the guitar with, and yeah, it's that's kind of what came off this guitar. All the gold was all sort of dull and kind of greasy, and there was a ketchup stain on the back as well, you know. So yeah, it's a lovely looking guitar, and it plays great. It also needed a little bit of setup. There was a high fret that I had to sort out, and truss rod needed a little bit of adjustment. Intonation, which, you know, obviously I do that when I put a new set of strings on anyway, because I wasn't going to play on the old strings. I would have needed a tetanus jab. They're filthy. So, you know, intonation, truss rod, high fret, load the action, and, you know, it's, apart from one small thing, which is this little paint chip round the back here, which I'm going to do a little bit of a video on how to fix that kind of thing. It's in essentially brand new condition, and it's, you know, if you're looking for a Les Paul custom, you know, this ticks all the boxes, really, even down to, I think this is even more correct spec than the Gibson, because this is an all mahogany body, you know, which is in keeping with the Les Paul custom original specs, whereas this guitar, let me go and grab it. This Les Paul custom is it's a Gibson. It's a custom shop Gibson, actually, which I've done videos on. This basically belongs to a friend of mine. He won it in the Guitar Gear giveaway raffle, and he's loaned it to me to do a bunch of reviews. But this guitar, this Les Paul custom, does have a maple top, so arguably the Epiphone is more vintage correct, or kind of original spec correct, than, let's get back in focus, than the Gibson. Obviously, you know, we've got a guitar that retails for 630 quid, and that one that you've just seen retails for over $4,000. It would be churlish not to do a comparison between the two, wouldn't it? So that is probably the video that you're going to be seeing this time next week in this Sunday slot. But that is a tale for another day. Whether I'm going to keep this guitar or not, the jury is still out, because I've got my Gibson Les Paul Tribute, I've got the Sire Larry Carlton L7 you can see hanging on the wall behind me there, and now I've got this, and it sort of makes a bit of a mockery of my old adage that I like to have one good example of every type of guitar. And do I really need 3 different Les Paul style guitars? Well, not really, but since when has this been about need? I suspect I will probably be moving this on at some point, because, you know, it's just, I like to, you know, I want some more money to spend on other guitars, basically, and keep the reviews coming. So I don't imagine this one's going to be sticking around, but I will be sorry to see it go. It's a lovely guitar. I like the way it feels, I like the way it sounds, and I like the way it looks. So yeah, this will possibly be being offered for sale at some point, and I will, I think, quite reluctantly be parting with it. But we'll come to that I'll come to that, a final decision on that another day. So there you go, folks. That is my review of the Epiphone, inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom. Make of it what you will, and that is the video for today. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen and found it entertaining and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars, and often the conversation wanders off into all sorts of different territories. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, whatever you think. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.